Hey there everyone, my name is Waffles the Asian Yenber, and welcome to Meet the Squad, the team building series where I take one Pokemon, build an entire team around it, and then we go over it on screen. I tell you all the details, all my thought process for why I chose this and why I chose that, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And as you can notice, the team is actually already made, because this is the second time I've recorded this video. The first time I built the team on screen live, I got through that, edited it, which took like 5 hours, and then it rendered black. So we're doing it again. Anyways, we're here. I've got my team. We built around Uwu the Wooloo, and if you missed it yesterday, I made a whole how to use Wooloo guide. You can find that link up there in the info card, down in the description below, and on the end card of this video, because we're gonna promote it a lot. Anyways, I made that video, went over lots of details on how you can use Wooloo, the couple different sets we can use, and today I'm going to be using the specially defensive set with Thunder Wave. So we've got Cotton Guard, Rest for recovery, Sleep Talk so we can keep setting up while we're resting, and Thunder Wave just for some general utility. It's mainly because we want this Wooloo to be here to try to make our opponent rage quit. That's really all we can really do with Wooloo, unfortunately. I could throw on counter, and I thought about doing counter, but I think with Wooloo, we want to try to wear things down, which is where the Toxapex is going to come in and just be an impenetrable wall. And that's what we're going to do. So we've got the Eviolite, of course, because Wooloo does evolve into Dubwool. We've got the Fluffy ability, which gives us half damage from contact moves, and Cotton Guard to set up +3 defense each time we use it. So it's fantastic. Very good. We are using 248 HP because we want the odd number HP right there. That way we just get one more Stealth Rock switch in. It doesn't really matter for Wooloo, since Wooloo's not actually weak to rocks, but I always like to do it just to be sure. So there's Uwu the Wooloo, level 100. Then we've got I'm Sorry the Toxapex with Black Sludge for recovery, Regenerator for recovery. We could come in, take a hit, switch back out. Toxapex, I tried to avoid using Toxapex. I did. Toxapex is a really good Pokemon, but I didn't want to make the entire team stall based. But Toxapex is really the best answer here. Toxapex resists the fighting hit, so it can take those hits for Wooloo. It is specially defensive, so it can take these specially offensive hits and try to wear down those special threats. That is kind of an issue for this team. With Wooloo, we're weak to fighting types and we're weak to specially offensive threats. So that's kind of a big thing of I want to make sure that we have answers for that and we can get rid of it so that Wooloo can come in the end game and just be that wall and make sure that that is our win condition. That's what I'm trying to do with this team. We want Wooloo to be the win condition. But Toxapex with Regenerator, we've got the Scald to burn things that can't be poisoned. If we can burn some physical threats like physical steel types, that would be fantastic. And it does give us a damaging move, so we're not taunt bait. We've got Toxic Spikes, because if I can set up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, I'll be able to start poisoning things, as well as not every Pokemon gets Toxic this generation, or I would have thrown that on Wooloo. So we have to get those Toxic Spikes up. They're really going to be helpful for wearing down threats. We've got Haze, so that we can make sure we're not being set up on. It's really important that we aren't being set up, because with Wooloo and Toxapex, they're very much setup fodder. So having Haze there, really important. Then we've got Baneful Bunker, which is mostly to scout moves because it's still a very new generation. I don't know what every Pokemon does. So using Baneful Bunker kind of gives us that information and could maybe net us a poison that we might not have because Toxic Spikes might not be up yet. So that's what Toxapex does. It's named I'm Sorry because I'm very sorry to any of my opponents that have to deal with my team because it's going to be a little bit annoying. So I'm sorry. Anyways. Next, we've got Buzz Off the Vikavolt, who comes in with the Levitate, is immune to ground moves, which is great. Gives us a main answer for psychic types. We can't come in and take those psychic hits, but we can really threaten out any psychic types with our Choice Specs Bug Buzz. We've got Volt Switch for pivoting, and Thunderbolt Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is there for the fairy types because, wow, we don't really have a defensive weakness to fairy types. A fairy psychic type like Gardevoir or like Hatterene are very threatening. So I wanted to have the Flash Cannon for all fairies because we didn't have a real counter for fairies, especially like Mimikyu, this would be helpful for as well. But we wanted to have an answer for fairy types, and the fairy psychic types are definitely very threatening to my core. So I wanted to make sure I had an answer to that, which is Bug Buzz there. But the way the choice specs work is that because we can Dynamax now, and that just resets whatever we chose with choice specs, it's a great time to use choice items. So we're gonna use choice specs on Vikavolt, and that's what we're gonna be doing. We're modest. We've got, again, 248, which is a little more important on Vikavolt, 252 special attack, and 8 special defense. And I'm actually really excited because while I was trying to hatch, Grubbins is the name. While I was trying to hatch Grubbins in my game, I actually hatched the shiny one. So I'm really excited. We're gonna get to use shiny Vikavolt, which is actually gonna be something I will set right there. Look at how beautiful that is. Then we've got Forest Witch the Hatterene, and I really want to use Hatterene. Hatterene seems like a really cool Pokemon. It's especially defensive, and because a lot of our Pokemon were looking like they were very slow, I wanted to have a Trick Room option. We might not use that every match, but having the option there is really helpful because then we'll actually be able to outspeed things, be able to actually do some big damage. So having the Trick Room is important. Dazzling Gleam because Moonblast doesn't exist. Then we've got Psychic instead of Psyshock just so we can get a little bit extra damage, hit those physically defensive threats, and hopefully that'll be okay. I'm not really 100% sure if Psychic's what I want to go with, but we're doing it. And we've got Calm Mind just to give us the option to set up a Calm Mind. We're probably not going to use that too often, but I wanted to have it there so that Hatterene could become a win condition if the game allowed for it. Next up though is Mole Clan. Oh, and we've got Expert Belt. We've got Expert Belt as well as Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce is going to be nice to avoid any hazards set up on our side. I'm kind of worried a little bit about the hazards just because we do have Doug Trio, and Doug Trio has the Focus Sash. So I want to make sure that we are not getting set up with hazards. There's no hazard stacking happening on here, and Magic Bounce is going to be one way that we can do that. Then after that, we've got Mole Clan, the Doug Trio, like I said, Focus Sash, Arena Trap, so we can maybe trap some of those threats. I've noticed in playtesting that it's kind of nice to be able to trap some ghost types that could give Wooloo some trouble, as well as just generally whatever is the main threat. Being able to bring Doug Trio in to take it out is really helpful, as well as it does outspeed Toxicity, which means if we let Toxicity KO one of our Pokemon, Doug Trio comes in and just destroys it without worrying at all. So that's fantastic. We've got Earthquake, we've got Sucker Punch for the ghost types. We've got Reversal, because if we get to Focus Sash and we feel like the fighting type move is kind of helpful, because again, we don't have any fighting type coverage here. If we feel like Reversal would be helpful, I'll go for it. It's not really something I plan to do. We're mainly doing Sucker Punch, Earthquake with this team, but again, having options is really important, and Doug Trio's kind of here to be our standard Fastmon, because our team, like I said, not fast. But we've also got a Hone Claws because if we want, we can get hit, let us get down to our Focus Sash, go for the Hone Claws, and then maybe do some good damage. I do not think that Mole Clan is going to be a win condition very often, but again, I want to have that option there. Doug Trio does give us a lot more options just because it can trap, so that does really help out and change a little bit of the way that we play each match, because we kind of want to figure out what Pokemon we're going to trap and then move forward from there. And finally, we have Nicole the Colossal, who is a really cool Pokemon. I didn't know about this when I was team building, but we have Steam Engine as an ability. This ability raises Colossal speed by 6 stages, which gets it fast enough to outspeed, I believe, Barracuda, as I know I did that calculation in the team builder, and it's just ridiculous. He's one of the fastest mons after a +6 boost, which is really, really cool. And there is a chance that we can live the water type hits if it is a physical hit, and if it is from something that is not super duper strong. We can also live a water type hit from Toxapex. We've got the weakness policy here because if we get hit by those water hits, we're going to be able to activate our weakness policy and really start doing some damage, which would be really cool. And because of Steam Engine, we can also be hit by a fire type move, and then just the weakness policy won't activate, but we'll still have that +6, which would be pretty cool. We've got Rapid Spin for hazard removal. I'm not super into having hazards on our field, and I want to have those options to be able to get rid of them if that is the case. We've got Earthquake. I originally had the Stone Edge here for the Gigantamax Colossal, but it turns out that Stone Edge is not very good coverage for what we need, so having the Earthquake I think is going to be a little bit better. In playtesting it seems like it's doing a little bit better. Then we've got Stealth Rocks, because if we do get a chance to set up hazards, you can see that we are physically defensive with Adamant Nature for a little bit of extra offense, but we are physically defensive, although actually, no, I have Adamant. I was going to change it just then, but no, we have Adamant for a reason. That is so that we can do a little bit more damage to Ferrothorn, I believe. I was a little bit worried about physically defensive Ferrothorn. But we've got physically defensive with Adamant Nature, Flare Blitz for Ferrothorn, and Stealth Rock so we can set up our own hazards there. I'm mostly concerned about setting up Toxic Spikes, but if the opportunity presents itself, I would like to be able to go for Stealth Rocks. And that is our team. We've got Uwu the Wooloo, I'm Sorry the Toxic Spikes, Buzz Off the Vikavolt, Forest Witch the Hatterene, Mole Clan... I miscounted. Okay guys, and that's our team. We've got Uwu the Wooloo, I'm Sorry the Toxapex, Buzz Off the Vikavolt, Forest Witch the Hatterene, Mole Clan the Doug Trio, and Nicole the Colossal. So see, I can do math sometimes. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good day, good week, good life, and I will see you next week for some Wi-Fi battles with this team. Now, goodbye.